Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 49. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we're covering Season 2, Episode 49. This is an episode of Life After Lockup titled The Wife, the Girlfriend, and the Side Chick. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
To talk about something a little bit different today, what have you been watching on your end as far as television is concerned?
I'm watching DTF, St. Louis, I believe it's called, on HBO.
What's that?
It's Jason Bateman and the guy from Stranger Things. And it's like a hookup app. It's about a hookup app.
Is it like a
down to
drama? Or yeah.
Yeah.
It's a drama? It's not
Yeah.
like a comedy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
First I was thinking it was like a dating show.
Yeah, no.
I've just been watching my normal YouTube. I just got into something different. I don't even know how, but there's like a former pilot who listens to like air traffic control issues or like fights between air traffic control and pilots. And so I'm like on that now. And I'm just stuck on my YouTube. That, and I also told you I watched a very low budget movie called Lost Boys, The Two Coreys, which is from about 1980s. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. I actually watched a second time yesterday, and I don't know why.
It was so good the first time, you had to watch it again.
Absolutely not good, but it was, I don't know.
Well, this week we start off with Megan, Michael, Sarah, and Maria. And Maria is at the hotel and says the night before, about 12:30, he called her and told her that he was going to be staying over with the girls at Sarah's, and Sarah was going out. But she says Michael hasn't come back yet.
We cut to Sarah kind of peering out of her window of her house with like this big shit-eating grin on her face. We all know what that meant. They're trying to lie, which is so, come on, we all knew, but they're sitting there lying to the camera or to production, whatever, and then it happens to come out like we didn't know.
Maria says that she doesn't think anything happened with Sarah because he wouldn't want to ruin everything that they have going on. I don't know who she thinks she is.
She really does think she is something special. And in the end, Michael does actually wind up with Maria for a while, and I don't know if they're still together. We know that he's having drug issues and he's homeless, but far as I know, that's who he ended up with in the end here, right?
From Day Day's account, it sounds like the last person he would have been with was Maria. She called her baby mama, so they have, as we know, a couple kids together.
I don't know where their kids are, though. I don't know where her kids are, we know where his and Sarah's kids are with Sarah, but where's Maria and Michael's kids? We don't know. But the internet doesn't seem to know about that, and certainly his family doesn't let on to anything. Who knows? I just, like, you're right. I don't know why Maria thinks she's so special over any of Michael's other women. We do know, however, that they seem to have this agreement that they would have threesomes together. And I don't know if, therefore, that makes Michael think it's okay or more okay to do this stuff behind Maria's back than it would have behind anyone else's.
It's hard to say what his logic is. I mean, he's so ridiculous and entitled and himself.
She tries to act as if this is not bothering her though, but when he gets back, she's like, "Where the fuck have you been?" Clearly, she's just trying her best to make it look like she's cool and she's down with everything and she trusts him, but you don't say that if you trust someone.
No.
Those are loaded words.
He tells us that being able to put the girls to bed meant everything to him. He's so full of shit, man. We saw like he laid Aviana down and then turned the light off and walked out. That meant everything to you?
Yeah, he spent about 5 minutes with them and then the rest of the time with Sarah.
It's no wonder she's so confused all the time.
Yep.
And then the producer asks him if Sarah was at the house with him last night, and he says no. She didn't spend the night with him. Of course she did, and of course you did.
Yeah, Sarah just went out on this unusual spur of the moment all night excursion to where? To what? She to
Right,
where?
exactly. And he says they talked before putting the girls to bed, and then she left and didn't come back until morning. We know this is bullshit. Who would she have gone out with? And she wasn't planning on going anywhere. She's not just going to be like, yeah, you keep the girls here at my house and don't tell Maria, and I'm going to go off and do whatever.
I know we left off with them on the previous episode with the scene where she's like, "I'm gonna go make a drink." Yeah, you're gonna go make
Hmm.
a drink and then go off to some random place? Come on.
Right. She doesn't strike me as the kind of person who's out a lot. I think
No.
she's just got shit she needs to handle at home, and she does that.
Yeah, well, we saw her go out that one time with Emmy, and that was like they acted as if that was like not a normal thing. Like it was like girls' night out, first girls' night out as a single lady. We haven't heard of it again. We haven't heard of it before, and we haven't heard of it after.
Right. So he leaves Sarah's house at 11:30 in the morning, and when he gets to the hotel, Maria's like, "Where the hell have you been?"
It
11:30.
11:30. That makes it even less believable because why would Sarah come waltzing in at like, well, he had to get from point A to point B. So what, 10 o'clock in the morning? Who goes out? What was she hanging out at the Denny's?
Yeah. I guess he was trying to imply she stayed over, with some guy, or who knows what exactly he was trying to say.
Something.
Next up, Angela and Tony, and they're driving, and she asks him if he knows what kind of suit he wants. And he says something beachy, like maybe shorts.
It's 1 week before their wedding. Where have we heard this before? We heard Shane say he wanted something beachy too. Remember, he wanted like starfish on his cupcakes.
Yep.
That's with these men. They they're like bridezillas. So they're gonna go shopping for a suit, and I thought it was Angela that's gonna take him shopping for the suit with Tommy coming along. No, no, no. Tommy's gonna take Tony shopping for the suit without Angela.
Which doesn't make any sense. It's not like they're friends. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't Angela go with him over Tommy going with him?
Crazy awkward. Crazy awkward.
He says that he only met Tommy once and he didn't like him.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think either of them like each other. We definitely
No.
know Tommy doesn't like Tony. I don't think that Tommy did anything to Tony to make Tony necessarily not like him, but I don't know. It
I
didn't
think it's
seem like it anyway.
jealousy.
Mhm. Yeah. They're in the shop and Tony doesn't know his size because why would he? When's the last time he would have worn a suit, if at all ever?
Right. So Angela drops Tony off, and when he gets out, Tommy's there and he shakes his hand and gives him, a man hug, sort of.
Yeah. A man hug. They're both looking kind of hot and sweaty too. And I guess, the beachy would mean the white suit because the white suit is what is what Tony likes.
Yeah, not everybody can pull off a light colored suit either, and Tony doesn't seem to be the kind of dude who could pull it off.
He looks very like low grade Miami Vice. Timu Miami Vice.
Team Miami Vice. So Tommy says he doesn't think that Tony and Angela should get married because Tony will continue to cheat and lie, but Tommy learned self-defense so he could damage Tony. He could do some damage to Tony.
Okay, people say this stuff. Either I take taekwondo, I take karate. I could really hurt you. Those are in like scenarios set up where you're like in a stance or you're like here pose like this then hit this dummy, but it doesn't mean that you know how to fight. Likely Tony does know how to actually fight. Like we said about John versus Shane,
Right.
I would be willing to bet that Tony could probably hurt Tommy versus the other way around.
Unfortunately, that's probably true. Tony is also substantially larger than Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony ends up trying on the white suit and he loves it. And Tommy tells Tony that it's time to pick out some shoes. And Tony says he's going barefoot because it will be on the beach. No, sir.
Perfect. You will not need to wear shoes the entire time ever because you're on the beach.
Are you bringing socks with you? I don't. Mm-mm. All
The
night for
whole
his.
entire
Yeah, his
the
feet
whole
just
entire
out
thing.
there. Enjoy your
Eating with your
dinner.
feet.
Enjoy your dinner and my toes.
Ew. Yeah. Like, is everyone not wearing shoes?
If that was like a theme or you were doing flip flops or something, then okay. But just no shoes at all for the whole night.
I would think that he should have like brought some Jesus sandals or something, like the old man sandals with like
Yeah,
the Velcro or
something.
something.
Anything's better than nothing, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, especially because like you're gonna like you said, like you gotta have like a dinner. Are they gonna have the entire thing on the beach or just the ceremony or where are they eating?
Don't usually, if you have like a beach wedding, you have an indoor or like at least there's ground where you're trying to have your food and all of that in your reception. Because how are you going to dance on the beach? I guess you could. It depends how committed you are to the beach theme.
Could you imagine like setting up all of that stuff like cake and food and stuff on a beach with like wind and stuff?
No, no,
Eating
you would
sand.
the sandiest cake. This is delicious. Thank you.
Oh, look. These cupcakes have like cute little sand like scenes on them. No, that's actually sand.
It's sand. So Tommy tells them that he and Angela have been close for a long time, and he tells Tony that he had proposed to Angela. Now, Angela asked him not to do this, and she was like, Tony will be upset. And I was like, no, he won't. Well, here's Tony pretending to be upset.
We did say that if Tony did find out about Tommy's proposal, that we didn't think that he would be genuinely upset or if upset at all. I think it was more like an ego thing. I don't think
Hmm.
it had anything to do with Angela. It just had to do with this is a dude that's like pushing his buttons and he
Yeah.
just so happened to push that button too.
Well, and he could also be worried that if he messes up, she may go over to Tommy because he knows that Tommy's a better choice than he is.
Yeah, it screws up Tony's bread and butter. He's gonna lose everything.
Exactly. Tony asks him when it happened, and Tommy says a while back, and Tony says, well, I've been engaged to her for 2 fucking years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so likely not that long ago and probably within the 2 years. And Tony says, well, respect my relationship and stay in your lane. I don't think that Tommy would ever stay in his lane.
I don't think so either. Yeah, Tony said, did you know that we were engaged when you did this? And he was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, and
no.
he's
No, that's not what he said. I'm sorry. Tommy said, "I don't think I did, Tony."
this thing, and he's got that, like, country twang when he's
"I
talking.
don't think I did."
T Tommy low-key looks, like, a little bit, like, scary when he's confronting. He looks like a like, serial kill I don't know,
He's
little
not
bit
afraid of
kinda
Tony.
no. And he insinuates that he's going to hurt Tony if he hurts Angela. He
Right?
said it before.
Tony says he's pissed that Angela didn't tell him about the proposal. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit that he's pissed off about it? Like, and also, why would she tell him if he was just gonna act like an idiot anyway?
I feel like Angela's main reason for not telling Tony was because she thought that Tony would then retaliate and do something behind her back to stab her in the back. Even though she didn't do anything, she didn't make Tommy propose to her. She didn't do anything to ask for that. But a Tony will look for any reason to just hurt Angela and do shitty stuff. And Tony asks Tommy if he's killed before, and Tommy says no. And then Tony says, "Well, if you haven't, then you shouldn't even talk about it." This is the second time we've heard the murder thing come up with Tony. I really don't know if I ever truly looked up what Tony's gone to jail for over his stints in jail. I
Right.
I don't know. Was it murder? Because he's just freely out here going, "I murdered someone on national television."
Well, here's the thing though, he never outright says that he did. He just heavily implies it multiple times. So he never comes
Yeah.
out and says that he murdered anyone or killed anyone, but he does imply that he did.
Yep.
Next up, Brittany and Marcelino gets home and Brittany is in bed.
Mhm. Yeah. She just goes like anyone else would. She's being a smart ass and she's, "Well, how did you do? And how's your cousin? How'd your cousin do?" Things like that.
Right. And Marcelino says that his cousin never does too good because he's an idiot. But again, the problem I have with this whole storyline is why would the cousin call Brittany's cell phone and it just happens to be while Marcelino's gone? Like this feels so set up.
But set up in a way where do we think that just production knew and they did this on purpose and they had the cousin call? Or did Brittany
Yeah.
yeah.
I bet the whole storyline was faked.
I don't know, she seemed pretty freaking mad though for it to be fake.
So he's sitting at the table drinking a beer and petting the dog. I think kind of trying to unwind from what he just went through.
Mhm. 'Cause she says that Marcelino lied to her and it's really disappointing, and she says that she doesn't lie to her husband, so clearly he shouldn't be lying to her. This is just not the way that their relationship is.
So she calls her mom and tells her she's going to drop the kids off for a little bit because she needs to talk to him in private. That's foreboding.
She's probably going to just confront him, and she knows it's gonna be nasty, so she doesn't want the kids around to see it, I guess.
And that's fair. If there's a place for them to go that they don't have to be around, that's the best case scenario.
Mhm.
She says she doesn't trust the way she's feeling right now and she has zero tolerance for lying and it's about to go down.
Yeah, and we see her actually I guess she kind of flung a beer at him, or the beer flew.
Well, she like poured it all over him
Yeah, yeah,
and
well,
then
that's what it was. Because I
yeah,
was
she poured it like from
yeah,
head to toe all over him in the bed and then smacks the shit out of him.
like we always do on this show.
It was really disappointing to see that because I said, I think in 47 or 48 that the one thing that we could always say about Brittany is she never put her hands on him. And then here, make me look like a fucking idiot. She smacks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Next up, Clint and Tracy. Clint hugs Alice and then tells us that Tracy has been gone for 2 days and he hates being at his house without her.
Yeah. He says her main concern is drugs. We know this. She's deep in addiction, and he doesn't know what he's going to do.
Alice asks him what's going on, and tells him that Tracy cares more about the drugs than she does him. And unfortunately, that's true at this point.
Yeah. Mom says she's loving the drugs more than she's loving you, and she's not going to change for you. All the things that she said before, all the things Clinton knows, and yet he still keeps trying to force something that is not going to ever happen and is never going to change and never be good for him.
He says that when it's someone you love, it's the hardest thing to do. And I think
Mhm.
that's why people hang on and why they enable, they're trying to do the best for somebody that they love.
Yeah, mom again tells him to just leave her, and it's like you're saying, easier said than done.
Right. And Alice says that if he chooses to get back with Tracy, she's going to set some boundaries. And I believe her.
Yeah, she's just like, we're going to become estranged, and she's said this before. She has warned him. She mom wants a normal relationship for him, which it seems he hasn't had, other than possibly the first wife with the "Can I speak to your manager" haircut that we saw in the first season. Yeah.
She seems to be put together. I don't know if she was put
Mhm.
together when they were married, but she seems to have it together at least.
Yeah.
Alice tells him, like, you don't want this kind of life. Even though this is what you're doing right now, this is not the life you want to live.
And in the next breath, then we see Clint flip flop back and forth. He says, "Well, hopefully she'll get her stuff out soon." So he goes from loving her and wanting this to be fixed 1 minute, and then the next minute his brain goes, "Nope, this needs to be over," and then he wants her stuff out. He flip flops very quickly on this situation.
He does a lot of flip-flopping.
Mhm.
So he tells us that he's always supported Tracy, but he's hanging on by a thread, and his parents can't keep giving her chances. It's not just his parents, though. It's got to be him, too.
Yeah, yep. Um, they've been done with her, but they're more concerned about him than they ever would be about Tracy. They're just mainly concerned about their son. Maybe they did, build a relationship with her, but ultimately who they really care about is their son. Clint does ask to stay there and says that if Tracy doesn't go to rehab, it's over. We've heard this from him though. This is not
Right.
how he's not followed through with that.
Unfortunately, I mean, he would have to hold that line, and even then, who's to say if she would agree to it?
She's not going to. She gets pissed when he brings it up.
Right. Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and there's a knock at the door, and it's Michelle.
Yeah, she's going to talk to her about the whole condom situation. Well, Andrea winds up telling her about it and getting her opinion on everything.
Lamar's working on his laptop, and he tells us that she's not talking to him, and he hopes that Michelle will act as a mediator for the situation because it's stupid.
Yeah, yeah. So Andrea is saying that at first she believed him, but then she remembered that when she calls him, there's always women's voices in the background. Now, we know he has a lot of friends and family, a lot of which were women that we saw. It doesn't mean that these are just random. Why would you? What I don't. Okay, maybe it would happen, but Lamar doesn't seem like the type of guy to just have random bitches in the background while he's calling his wife. It's
No,
just
it doesn't make sense.
no,
He would think ahead in that circumstance and go somewhere where nobody else is.
especially because he knows how Andrea is. But so it makes more sense that it's probably friends and family, and he's just with them, and it's just noisy. And she's just
Right.
pulling out the fact that she heard women's voices, but there's likely men's voices too.
But Andrea does what she always does and acts like herself. And she says that Lamar pays prostitutes. And Michelle's like, no, no. I wanted to be on your side, but you went from cheating to prostitutes. And Michelle tells her she needs to bring it down like 10,000.
Yeah, she says that she has a wild imagination. She does. Where in the world did she bring up prostitutes? First of all, I can see certain people on this show needing to go the prostitute route. I don't feel that Lamar would have to do that to get women.
No.
He
Come
look,
on
he's an
now.
attractive man. He's funny. He's well spoken. He it would not be difficult for him to get a date without paying for it.
Exactly. Exactly. So Michelle goes up to him to talk to him, and she asks him if he's ever cheated on Andrea, and he immediately says no, but he thinks him having more freedom is leading her to believe these things.
Yeah, it's the spending time apart. And he immediately also says, I love Andrea with all of my heart. He always says this. He never hesitates to say this.
Right. So Andrea tells Michelle that her mind gets away from her and she thinks about all the things he could be doing. And I mean, like you said, it's just living apart, not being together, so they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but Andrea needs to stop with this controlling. You cannot control everyone's free will just because they're your spouse or significant other. They have to have free will. You cannot
Mhm.
always know their every move. And if you don't, they're immediately cheating. It just doesn't make sense.
Andrea asks Michelle, "What about the condoms?" And Michelle yells at her, "Throw them out. They're not his." Like Michelle knows, the same thing we're saying. They're not his, man.
Yeah, yep. She says, "Don't put doubt in your marriage. That is not good for you." That is all Andrea does is put doubt in everything all the time.
She tells us that sometimes she thinks he doesn't know how to make her happy, and she's not sure if he's willing to do the work to make her happy. But it's not his fucking responsibility to be the sole source of her happiness.
That's a lot.
Like, she's the only one who can do that. Yes.
That is a lot. That is a hot, like if Andrea is so unhappy that she needs another human being to help her be happy, there's something so wrong with that all the way around. She needs some sort of therapy. We know that this woman has friends. She has children. She's involved with her her Mormon whatevers, the Bible readings or the Book of Mormon readings. She has things she does. She has a job. Why are you relying on one man for all of your happiness? Your children don't make you happy. I mean, your only happiness is Lamar and he must create the happiness? That sounds crazy.
That's a lot to put on one person.
Mhm.
Michelle tells her that she has up an emotional wall that she's not letting him through. I would say that's true.
That is true. That is true. And Andrea says every time they talk, it turns into a fight. But it's not Lamar turning it into a fight. It is Andrea turning it into a fight. But this is not the only scenario we see her doing this, and this is just her. She needs help. She needs more than the Book of Mormon to help her.
She says if she's going to let him in, she has to know that she can trust him. And Michelle says he's always trying to talk to her and tell her how he feels about her.
Yeah.
So we end this segment with her saying that she needs to let it all out. And if they fight because she has to let him know how she feels. But all she ever does is tell everyone how she feels and lets her bad mood turn into horrible behavior.
Mhm. Yep. And anytime Lamar says how he feels, it immediately gets turned around back and focused
Absolutely.
back on Andrea and how she feels because Lamar isn't allowed to be his own person.
Unfortunately, that's true. Next up, Megan, Michael, Sarah, and Maria. And Michael walks in and she says, "Where the fuck have you been? I've been calling you for the last hour and a half." And he says, "I know. I saw the missed calls." What?
It's 12 noon.
That's what I'm saying. You show up at noon the next day. Come on.
This dummy though gets mad and then immediately switches and believes him.
Of course, because it's her man.
She's only her man. She's so great, so wonderful. She's got all that. practice being a prostitute to please men. What's happening here? She's the end all be all of women.
They say the dumbest shit too. She's like, "Why didn't you reply to my text message?" He goes, "Oh, because I was already on the way." Just fucking do it, man. Just be like, cool. If you were on the way, why didn't you text?
She has full confidence in him and believes everything that he says. Why is she even bothering to call or text him? When he shows back up, he shows back up, right?
That's all you can expect out of him. And she was like, "We had ground rules. We weren't going to lose communication." Did you really think that he was going to abide by that?
He doesn't even keep communication with his children or the mother of his children. Why in the world would you be special?
Because she is special. She's the one. He's her man. She says she was worried that Sarah called the police on him because she knows how Sarah can be. If that were true, you would know that Sarah would never call the police on Michael.
No, absolutely not. She would not. I don't know where she came up with that. So at first, we see Sarah saying that Michael went to sleep in Aviana's room. And then she immediately is like, yeah, no, I lied. They did not go to sleep.
Right. She said they were laughing and vibing and having a good time.
Yeah, sure. Yep. And we're back to Maria being like, well, why couldn't you answer my call? Well, how would he answer your call when he's having sex with another woman?
His wife.
His wife.
Maria says they always communicate and are honest, but now that they're in New York, he pulls this shit and it makes her feel some type of way. As it fucking should. That's totally justifiable.
Yeah, I again, this woman knows this man's history fully know, and she's literally trying to instill trust in a person who she knows is a habitual liar. I don't she's just dumb. She's just dumb.
I don't get it at all. I don't get the attraction. I don't get the commitment to somebody who is going to consistently do you wrong. Like, I don't understand it.
And then out of the blue, guess who calls Michael? Megan.
Right?
Why not just put the icing on the damn cake?
And when he gets the call, he ignores it. And Maria asks him who's calling, and he tries to deflect, saying that they are in the middle of a conversation. And she asks again, and then he does tell her that it's Megan.
Yeah. Maria is like, well, okay, I believe you. I trust you. What? Okay, first he spends the night with his
Wife.
baby mama, wife, and then Megan randomly calls. And this dumb bitch is like, oh, I believe you. I trust you. Hello, what? No wonder why he stayed with you. No wonder why you are the person that he stayed with, Maria.
Well, Maria asks him why Megan is calling, and he says he doesn't know because they haven't talked in a long time. And Maria says, cut that shit out. So she knows. She may not want to admit it, but she knows.
Well, we at least know they haven't spoken in a couple weeks because we did hear Megan say like 2-3 weeks or something. So at least that part is kind of right.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He tells her he understands how she feels and how her mind could be going a million places, and then he apologizes to her.
Which is really rare. I don't know why he's for of all people he's apologizing to Maria. I don't know. I have we heard him apologize for anything before?
One other time, I believe, because I was shocked. I don't remember what it was about, but one other time we have heard him apologize. But all he does is he's like, "Oh, will you forgive me?" And she goes, "Yes."
Yep.
Okay, well, that was difficult.
It's easy as that. That's why he likes her, because she's dumb and she just falls for his dumb shit. So we go back to Sarah, and she says that last night she and Michael had sex, and she doesn't feel bad because he's her husband, and you shouldn't be in a full on relationship when you're married. But
Yep,
Sarah, you are separated. You are separated.
that's true. But he should settle the marriage before he gets involved. Especially because it's not like a cut and dry thing. It's not like they're separated and so they're staying apart from each other. They're separated and still fucking.
Yeah, true.
So while Sarah's talking, they're showing Maria straddling him in bed as they're making out. Like they
Ugh,
did them so did her dirty.
it's terrible. It's so unneeded too. We just have to be gross and just show this full-blown makeout session, which is just nauseating.
Sarah says he told Aviana that he was going to take her to ice cream, and Maria better not have a problem with that.
Why she believed this?
Yeah, why would you ever believe that? Next up, Lacey, John, and Shane. And Shane and Lacey's dad are putting together the trampoline, and she is inside FaceTiming with John.
This is so strange and awkward. Your dad and your husband are outside putting together a trampoline for your children, and you're in the bedroom showing your titties to your ex-fiance.
Ex. Yeah. Yep.
What?
She says when she found out Shane cheated, she was shocked. And I'm sure she was, because she would not think he would do something like that. She wouldn't think anybody would do something like that. I from what I gather of her.
She says that Shane started this game of who can hurt who worse, and it's a game that she's really good at. I don't think that's what he was trying to do here. He made a
No.
mistake. He's a young man who spent many years in prison, got out, and immediately jumped into a relationship with an older woman with a full-blown family, and he probably just had a young guy moment and whatever. He was drinking. I don't think he intentionally did this because I'm gonna hurt Lacey. Watch me cheat on her and watch me just shit all over her and cheat on her with this woman. No, that is what she does. This is what Lacey does, not what Shane does. Although Shane was wrong, I will not say that he was right in any way. That was not his intention.
No, he wasn't doing it to hurt her versus
No.
the things that she is doing intentionally trying to hurt him. But she says that she pays all the bills and he's going to regret cheating on her.
Yeah, you can't like always that's not healthy though for her to constantly be throwing it in his face that she takes care of him, she pays all the bills, she does this, he works, so he's likely contributing to something. Just because she
Right.
had an established life where she could afford a house and she had a car doesn't mean that you should shit all over him. He was in jail or prison.
So Lacey tells John that he looks good sweaty. We know where this is going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she says that one of the things that she loves about John is she can always tell him her problems. I I don't think that's what's happening here.
I I am confused by what she claims her and John's relationship is or was.
So he was supportive that anytime he wasn't shooting heroin, got it.
Or in prison, like, which seems
Person.
to be, it seems like he's doing one of those things all the time.
We've never seen Shane not be understanding and listen to her though. So what is going on here? Well, all of a sudden Shane doesn't
I think
pay
he's
attention
too
to her.
young to understand her, like, on any deeper level.
I'm 49 and I don't fucking understand her. So I'm
So she tells him to take off, she tells John to take his shirt off, and he does, and she asks him if she looks good, and he says, "You look sexy as a bitch," whatever that means.
oh my God. There are certain scenarios where someone could say that to me and I would laugh. And then there are certain scenarios where someone could say that to me and I would be really pissed.
I wouldn't be mad, I'd just be like, what the fuck does that even mean?"
I know. I don't know, but she's literally taking her top down for him with her nips out. And her, like I said, her dad and husband are outside. Her dad.
But he knows who she is.
Oh,
It doesn't seem like she tries to hide who she is. He knows about her OnlyFans. It's not like he doesn't know what she's about.
no, but it's disturbing. Yeah.
So John says, "Isn't it about time for him to leave?" And tells her that Shane isn't a good person.
Yeah. But well, John wants him out of the house. He wants her to kick him out of the house so that he can move in. Now,
Right.
okay, So how is this not John doing what she says Shane is doing?
Well, if John
Hello?
has a job too,
So does Shane.
he may make substantially more than Shane, but
Yeah.
I think that Shane would put all his money into the family versus the likelihood that John would, but I could be wrong. I don't know either of them.
Yeah.
And Lacey says, if you don't have trust, how do you have a marriage? Next
Yep.
up, Angela. Huh?
Yep.
Yep. Next up, Angela and Tony walks into the house and throws his suit down angrily, and she asks him what's going on.
Yeah, he did his best acting aggravated.
Right?
And well, why didn't you tell me about Tommy proposing to you?
She said she didn't see a reason to tell him, but she's laughing when she's saying that to him. She's like, I didn't see any reason that you needed to know that.
Yeah, well, this what worries Angela a little bit as to why Tommy would do this, because she said that Tony does not have self-control, and it's just aggravating that he would tell Tony about the proposal because, like, I guess true, because Tony is not a grounded individual in any way. It was kind of dangerous for him to do that.
It wasn't a good idea. And Tony decides to be extra moist at this point, and he gets really riled up.
Yeah, yeah. He is doing his best here. He says you can't see or talk to Tommy anymore, and he's not coming to our wedding. And A- Angela, being the boss of everything, how do you think this went?
She wasn't going to have that for a fucking second.
Nope.
She told him that she didn't tell him about Tommy because she had no interest in the proposal. It wasn't a big deal, so there was no reason to tell him.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then of course, Tony says, "Well, she's making all these rules for me, and it's a double standard." Angela doesn't need rules. She didn't do this to you.
Right. She didn't do anything to you.
No.
So she laughs when he tells her that she's not allowed to see Tommy or talk to him anymore. And she was like, you're not making that rule for me.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, I'll leave." And Angela's comeback is, "You slept with two prostitutes and then hid it from me." Like, as if that's any sort of comparison to her best friend proposing marriage to her so that she would stop being unhappy.
Yes. She wasn't having it. Like, he was trying to make her feel bad, and she was not having it.
No.
He says, I don't talk to the prostitutes anymore, do I? And she was like, only because you got busted. Fucking dumbass.
Look at me. I'm a good boy now. I don't talk to the prostitutes anymore. Well, congratulations, you fucking idiots. Oh my God. And then Tony tells her that Tommy threatened him.
Which is ridiculous. She's like, are you scared of him?
He says, "Well, Tommy's trying to break us up." Yes, he is, because he loves her and he's good for her and you're not.
Exactly. She just tells Tony that he needs to calm down, chill your britches.
All he's pissed about is that she got to do something like this, and he got in trouble for the prostitutes, and therefore he should be able to still run around with prostitutes.
It doesn't
What?
make any sense. He says he tries to avoid confrontation, but he wants to beat Tommy's ass. But
Okay.
that would violate his probation and he'd go right back to prison. Well, no shit.
Yep, yep. But he didn't it running the risk of going back to probation for prostitutes was worth it, though.
Yeah, that was fine. He tells her that two dudes can't be in love with the same woman at the same time and be in the same room together. You have to believe that he loved her, though. And I think he was just out for what he could get from her.
Yeah, he does not love her. I hate when he says that he loves her. Come on.
Angela's a badass. She doesn't need Tony.
No.
So he says that he believes Tommy is trying to start problems in the relationship and he's not going to let that happen. That is, Tony, don't do anything wrong and there's nothing to report.
At this point, any normal man would be like, "Oh, I feel a little bit threatened. I know that another man is interested in my wife to be. I feel like I'm going to make her trust me more, make it known that I love her, maybe do something special to her. No, all he wants to do is say, well, I got in trouble for the prostitutes, but you're allowed to do this. This is,
Yeah.
and then be a dick and act macho over this.
He's trying to
Hello.
show off.
Yep. Oh, no.
Trying to peacock.
That's it.
Next up, Brittany and Marcelino. And Brittany tells Marcelino that his cousin called her looking for him and says, "Look into my face and tell me I'm wrong." But he just keeps looking at the wet bed where she poured beer on him. And if
Mhm.
I were him, I would have gone and laid down on her side after that happened. I would have changed my clothes and gone and laid down on her side.
Yeah, and likely he's tired because he was out all night long. And he's got beer on his side of the bed now. And
Yep.
you're right. I mean, he has a lot of self-control though, man, because he did not even flinch at her doing this with the beer and the hitting.
He was pissed though. Like
He was.
he was very angry, but he did not respond.
Yep.
She asks him if this is the way he wants to raise their kids and tells him he's not going to start lying to her. And that's fair. Like the lying part is the problem. It's not
Yeah.
that he's losing the money, which isn't great, or that he's getting a poker coach, which also he could have just told her about. But lying to her face is a huge deal.
Yeah, he does then say that he tells her, "I've been losing and I got help from a poker instructor." And I kind of understand that he didn't want to scare her, because had he told her, "I'm not going to play poker, I am going to get help from a poker coach," that would have immediately made her nervous and worried more about money. She's pregnant, she's already paranoid because you know how you get when you're pregnant. And I can see why he hid that from her, but it doesn't make it right.
No. She tells him when he decides to be honest with her and tell her where he really was, which we know that he was with the poker coach, then she'll consider coming home. And he was like, "Coming home? Where are you going?" He's like, "I don't want you out driving mad and emotional and pregnant."
Yeah, yep. She says she has zero tolerance for lying, and he's like, "Well, it's not like I've got like a baby across town." But you know
Right.
what? Like one lie doesn't make the other lie better. It's not, a lie's a lie.
She says if she were in prison and she felt this disrespected, she would walk up to her and punch her in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says something interesting. He tells her that she has a tracker on him and she's supposed to know where he is at all times. Why didn't she just check the tracker?
I missed that part. Is he serious about that?
I probably.
Hmm. Maybe she has that because of the poker thing, because it could be dangerous.
If you have an iPhone, and on the same plan, it tells you where the other people are.
True. Yeah. You don't have to have that on, but yeah, maybe they do, just because I guess some people just do that. I mean, my daughter tracks me, but I know about it. So
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't mean there's any distrust. It could just mean that they just, for safety, I guess.
I have mine
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
My husband doesn't have an iPhone, but like, so we can't really track each other. But yeah, I mean, I guess if we could, we probably would.
She says she's got to get out of the house because this could push her over the edge. And then she does walk out and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we check in quickly with Andrea and Lamar, and he's getting in the car to teach Nyla how to drive. And he says this is the kind of father shit he's always wanted to do.
Yeah. She says that she needs him to teach her how to drive instead of mom, because we saw what happened with mom.
Right. He says he's a self taught driver while stealing cars because if you don't learn how to drive, you're going to crash and kill everybody in the car. I love Lamar.
He's so funny. He needed I feel like he needed his own show. I don't know if it needed to be with Andrea, and I know that he's back in prison, and that is very disappointing. I think he's back in prison because it is almost impossible to find details about it.
Mm-hmm.
His first name is not Lamar, and you can find his first name, and I still don't know what it is.
So, like, when they're driving, Nyla hits a couple cones and the curb. And at this point, I guess maybe Andrea was not overreacting. Maybe Nyla just sucks at driving.
She stomps on the brakes, and Tennyson's in the back.
He's like,
He has
what
to
the
like fly
fuck?
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this was set up, if they like had her do this like on purpose, but they're in a parking lot, and it seems like there's a ton of room, and she's running over like an island.
It's, I don't know how you could do that accidentally or on
No.
purpose, rather.
Pepper.
Next up, Megan, Michael, Sarah, and Maria. And Michael is in the bathroom and yells in, telling Maria to get her ass up just as his phone is ringing.
Yep. Michael says things are getting serious with Maria, and then he goes to step out to smoke a cigarette, likely to go do something shady, like, oh, I don't know, talk to Megan.
Yeah, he gives her a kiss and she tells him not to take too long.
Because she trusts him so much.
So much. He says it's stressful trying to deal with multiple women at one time, but it's 100% your fault. Stop doing it.
Oh my God. I such can't stand him. So he says that he wants to keep his women around just in case. Yeah, just in case you need a fucking paycheck, because that's how you get money, is from these women.
He goes outside of the hotel and FaceTimes Megan. She answers and says, "Where the fuck have you been?"
Yeah, and then he tells her he's in New York to see his girls, leaving out the whole Maria part.
Right? She says she's been trying to call him for 3 weeks, and he says some shit came up that he had to handle for 3 weeks.
Yeah, she's like, "Well, you still had time to call or text." He does not fucking work. And he
Right.
certainly not being a father. This bullshit. I hate when people act as if they don't have time to call or text. It's like, no, I in 3 days I could not respond to
That's
your
ridiculous.
text. 3 weeks?
He tells her that he's going to come out and see her, and she's like, "Why?"
I would be like, "Don't." But Megan, we know, is still hung up on freaking devil dick here.
Something has got these women going crazy. She says she'll see if he actually comes out, and she's not going to hold her breath. Smart thinking.
Yeah, I just at this point, I don't even know why the hell this woman is humoring him at all. She's crazy pants.
He says despite everything that's happened between him and Megan, he still has love for her, and he thinks that they genuinely care about each other. He doesn't know what caring about anybody is.
What the fuck? And how would they? Oh God, I don't know. Maybe Megan cares about him. I don't know why though. And she tells him that she's heading into the studio to record some songs. And we do know that she actually does do music, not like Michael who pretends to do music.
Well, she does music, she doesn't do it well.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
He says Megan wants a home and kids, and that doesn't fit for where he is in his life right now. You mean like the kids you had?
Oh, God forbid that this man should have a normal life or attempt to have a normal life. No, he's got to go running around with his prostitute girlfriend, dropping more babies. I mean, come on.
He comes back into the room, and Maria asks him why he took so long to smoke. And he tells her, "I just smoked a couple."
Yeah, she said, "Did
Always
you
with the
smoke the whole
excuse,
box?" Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, but she believes him, right? He's telling the
Hmm.
truth.
He says it's important to put his past behind him while he's dealing with Maria because he doesn't want to mess up something good. You just went out and called Megan. You just fucked Sarah. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, Lord. So he's going to go back to Michigan to handle his business. And then Maria, I guess, is going to go back home and do, I don't know, maybe, be a mom to her children. Who knows?
Somebody needs to be. Next up, Clinton Tracy, and he goes in to talk to Alice and tells her that Tracy texted him and he thinks she's home.
Yeah, and he's gonna go check on the dog. Yeah, no, he's not gonna go check on the dog. And Tracy left with the dog. So if the dog's there, Tracy's there. Unless she just
Yeah.
left the dog.
He tells Alice that Tracy has his car and he needs a ride home, and Alice tells him, nope, she's not
Yeah.
enabling him anymore. Go ahead, Alice.
Yeah, I was surprised. She meant it. Like I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Whoa, go ahead." Yeah, she
Yep.
was like, "No, find your own ride."
He tries to argue with her and be like, it's not enabling. I just need to check on my dog. And she's like, no.
Yeah, and he says, "Well, she has my car. You're the dummy that let her have the car. Reported as stolen. It's not her
Exactly.
car."
Alice says she's tired of dropping everything anytime either of them needs something, and she feels used. She's worried something bad is going to happen, and she has every right to feel used, and it's completely rational to think something bad is going to happen and to think that Tracy could take him down with her. And he takes an Uber home and starts banging on what looks to be the garage door.
Yep.
Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and Nyla is doing Andrea's makeup and asks her why she's doing this. And she tells her that her and him have been fighting a lot, and she wants to take him to a special place she goes to talk.
Yep. They're going to talk about everything. And Lamar says that keeping Andrea happy is exhausting. And yeah, I mean, I would feel that way too, that he shouldn't have to feel like that. Like, oh my God, it's my main job in life is to keep Andrea happy. No. Andrea tells the kids, don't open the door for anybody, not even Jesus.
Yeah. Nyla says that they always tell each other how they feel, and that's part of the problem since it never solves anything. And I generally agree with her kids. I feel like they know far better than she does, but I don't think she's understanding the adult portion of the relationship, which makes sense because she's a child.
Yeah, yep. And her kids know far too much. It's just not okay. They're in this, like they're in their relationship. It's just she makes them little adults and they're not. So Lamar just wants things to calm down and he just wants, trust and a solution to all of this.
Andrea says she's made a lot of decisions in this spot and they need to talk about what's going to happen in their future.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, the way that their life is just not like what she wants. And Lamar says, you still want the person that was in jail, not the free person. Yes, that's absolutely true because she had less control or she has less control over him now, and we know this.
She says she knows that her version of life isn't what he wants, and he tells her that he loves their life, and he loves her, and he loves the family.
Yep. And again, just like Cheryl, she says, I didn't wait for you for 7 years to live separate lives. Again, we have to bring up the amount of years that they wait for
That was
their
her choice.
person. Yeah, it was her choice. And the living separate lives thing was her choice too. She moved from California back to Utah.
Right. He didn't leave her. She left him. We established that.
hmm
She says, let's love each other enough to make compromises. And this is the most intelligent thing that she has ever said.
Yeah, but it's only a compromise when it goes in her way, you know? The compromise has to be in her favor, I think, always, or she's not happy.
And that's true. She says she loves him being amazing. And he says he feels like you only have one soulmate and he wants to be with her.
Yeah, I feel like these two were so super genuine in their love for each other, and I think it's sad that they're not together. I'm gonna dig a little more information up about Lamar, see if I can find something. And it's really unclear about their whole divorce too. Like we definitely saw that she said that they were divorced, but then people say that they aren't, and I don't know. So he says that he doesn't want to fight with her anymore. And I I I was a little confused on this part, and maybe I wrote it down wrong. They mentioned him moving to Utah, but then he said something about her moving back to Cali. What did I hear?
So they agreed to do a vote. And she says, "What happens if we decide to move to Utah?" And he says, "I guess I have to move."
Yeah.
And he says, between his vote and the kids' vote, she's going to have to move back to LA. So he feels confident in it, and she's feeling confident in it.
The kids are not going to want to go to LA. They didn't like it the first time.
And we wrap this week up with Megan, Michael, Sarah, and Maria. And Sarah is driving and says it's almost 9 p.m. and she's on her way to the hotel he's staying at. She says he didn't show up to take Aviana to ice cream, and she has nothing left to lose.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, we've gone this far. Sure. Go confront him with his new woman. I mean, I'd be definitely pissed about the ice cream thing, but I think it's less about the ice cream thing right now and Aviana than it is confronting him because she's pissed that she didn't get to spend more time with him.
And that very well could be what the problem is.
Yeah.
She says when she thinks about the man she wants to be with, it's someone who respects her and makes her feel heard. Then why the fuck are you wasting even a second on him?
That does not describe Michael in any way.
At all. Or anybody he is, was, or ever will be.
No. She has never claimed that he was ever this ever.
Exactly. And she says she's tried calling and texting him, and now she's going to go confront him face to face. She never should have told Aviana about the ice cream because she knew what was going to happen. And when he didn't show up, she should have moved on. There's no point in showing up at the hotel. She knows
Yeah.
who's there and what's going to happen.
Yep, because ultimately it's not about Aviana, and that's it just isn't. Yeah, I mean, she knew that there was a good chance that he was not going to show up because, yeah, he'll show up to have sex with her, but he's not going to actually show up to something that would be actually about the children and no chance in him sleeping with Sarah again.
Right.
It's just who couldn't figure this out? Sarah doesn't know much about Maria, but if she tries anything with her, it would be pretty stupid because i- she's pissed about what happened between her and Michael. So it means Sarah's like, I'm charged up and ready to go.
But I don't know when it comes down to it that Sarah could take Maria. Like, I feel like
I,
Maria is
yeah, I think you're
just
right.
so. Sarah is sitting in her car when both Michael and Maria come out to smoke. What are the chances production didn't tell them to go outside for this confrontation? Because they're just, how long did she sit in her fucking car for?
Yeah, unless Michael and Sarah go out or wow, Michael and Maria just go out every 5 seconds to fucking smoke. Like, what are the chances?
I guess that's possible.
Ugh. Yeah.
But when Sarah sees them, she gets out of the car and he's like, "What are you doing here?" He says he doesn't agree with Sarah just popping up no matter where he's at, especially if he's with Maria. Yeah, I'm sure you
Mhm.
don't agree with that.
Nope, nope. And in a way, he is slightly right about this, even though I am not willing to give him any credit for being rational at all. She confronts Michael. She says, "I have to talk to you about Aviana." And Maria says, "Well, do that on the phone." Yeah. Okay. Valid too.
She doesn't need to show up.
No.
But Maria starts cussing and yelling at Sarah and gets like up in her face.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think that Maria has nothing to lose, and she's probably been. I mean, she's used up. She does not give a shit. She would beat Sarah's ass.
Mm-hmm. So Michael tries to pull Maria away, and Sarah says, obviously, Maria does not know that they had sex the night before. Well, no shit.
Mhm.
Can you imagine if she had?
Yeah, and Maria says, "Well, I know all of your information. I have never pulled up on your spot." Well, true, but she did threaten to do that. She did threaten to go to Sarah's house, knock on her door, and confront her about Michael not seeing the kids. But she didn't.
She didn't, no. Sarah likes to confront, though. She did it to Megan. She's now done it to... She wanted to see what Maria looked like. I think that's
Yeah,
why she went.
absolutely, you're correct.
So who is your VIP for the week?
So I am gonna go with Clint's mom for standing her ground when I was not sure she would, and just not helping her adult son anymore.
So I also chose Alice for the same reason. I mean, it had to have been so hard to put your foot down.
Yep.
And your POS?
Well, I'm gonna go for Brittany this time, even though I didn't think Brittany would ever be our POS, but she should not have poured beer on Marcelino and smacked him.
I agree with you, and that is a perfectly reasonable choice. I chose Michael for not showing up for Aviana for the ice cream like he promised he would.
Yep, also a good choice.
So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts, and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, "Aw, babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.